Is kayak fishing dangerous? It's one of the most searched questions online about our sport, and it's a fair one. On the surface, kayak fishing look peaceful, but beneath the calm, there are real risks. Risks that can turn an amazing day into a nightmare. Hey guys, I'm Daren Wendell with Wendell Fishing, and I spent thousands of hours on the water in a kayak, and I've seen these dangers play out. I've also seen how preventable most of them are. So in this video, I want to walk you through 21 of the most dangerous mistakes kayak anglers make, and most importantly, how to avoid them. Let's dive in. Number one, capsizing without a plan. You will eventually fall in. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And it's part of kayak fishing, but flipping without a plan, dangerous. It's important to know how to re-enter your specific kayak. Practice it often, especially when you're not panicked. My buddy Jake, just this last week in Lake Erie, tripped over his net and he went into the water. Oh, you okay, bro? Now the water was 70 degrees and it was a hot day, so it felt good, but it could have been a different story if the water temps were in the 50s and he wasn't able to re-enter his kayak. Number two, not respecting the water. Now rivers and creeks may look tame, but the current is powerful. Just 2 feet of water can carry a car. Isn't that crazy? You got low head dams, undercuts, sweepers. They can trap and flip a kayak instantly. Now, if you don't know what these terms mean, that's okay, but they're worth learning before you launch so you can be a little more safe on the water, especially if you're river kayaking. And number three is underestimating water temperature. Now, water doesn't have to be freezing to kill you, right? Hypothermia happens when your core body temperature drops below 95 degrees. Now, once that happens, your body starts shutting down to protect vital organs, leading to confusion, loss of coordination, unconsciousness, and death if not treated. And here's the kicker, guys. Water pulls heat from your body 25 times faster than air. So even moderately cool water can sometimes become dangerous really fast. Now let me walk you through how quickly cold water can take a toll on your body. And this is based off of data from the US Coast Guard and the ACA. And trust me, these numbers are no joke. So let's start at the bottom of the chart and work our way up. The water is between 32.5 and 40 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll likely be exhausted or unconscious in 15 to 30 minutes. Survival time, 30 to 90 minutes max. For 40 to 50 degrees, you got about 30 to 60 minutes before exhaustion kicks in, and survival time ranges from 1 to 3 hours. Now here's the X factor, right? Cold shock. Separate from hypothermia, cold shock can cause an involuntary gasp reflex, panic, or even cardiac arrest. Many drownings actually happen within the first 60 seconds of immersion, not because the person couldn't swim, but because they weren't mentally or physically ready for cold water. Pretty wild, right? All right, number five, going alone without a plan. Fishing solo, it can be peaceful, it can be quiet, it can even be therapeutic, but also comes with a real risk because when something goes wrong, no one's there to help. This is why you need a float plan. Even if it's just a quick fishing trip, a float plan is really simple. Let someone know where you're going, what time you plan to launch, and what time you plan to be back, and what kind of kayak or gear you will be using. A text to your spouse, a friend, or even a note on the fridge can save your life if you don't return. To be honest with you, I'm not really great at this. I try to do this. I try to tell my wife where I'm at in the lake, where I'm headed, and when I'm planning to be back. That way, if something does happen, and I can't call for help, someone knows where to start looking. And remember, self-service isn't always reliable on the water, so even more reason to go check before you go dark. Float plan isn't overkill, guys. It's what smart anglers do. Be the ones who come home every time. All right, number six is an incomplete weather check. Don't forget the wind. Now, when most people check the weather before a fishing trip, they are looking for one thing. Is it going to rain? But let me tell you, rain isn't the only threat. Wind is the real kayak killer. At around 10 to 15 miles an hour, paddling becomes a serious challenge for most. And fishing, really difficult. And if you're in an open body of water with no protection, wind can push you off course, can drain your energy, disorient your sense of direction, and wind can create white caps that can capsize even a stable kayak. I've seen it happen. I've actually cut anchor ropes, watched gear float away, and helped rescue buddies caught in unexpected gusts, all because the wind picked up and we didn't see it coming. And it's not just about speed either. Wind direction matters too. A tailwind on the way out can feel easy and fun until you turn around and you have to fight that same wind all the way back. So before every trip, check the hourly wind forecast, not just the rain. And number seven, sudden weather fronts or microburst. A calm morning can shift fast. Microbursts and squalls come out of nowhere. Watch the sky, use radar apps, and don't rely solely on the forecast from the night before. All right, number eight, navigational errors in fog or low light. Now, low visibility is one of the most underestimated risks when it comes to kayak fishing. Whether it's early morning fog, a sudden storm, or fishing too long in the dusk, it's incredibly easy to lose your bearing. Now, without a GPS or a compass or a clear shoreline reference, even experienced anglers can get disoriented, especially on large or unfamiliar bodies of water. Always carry navigation tools and use proper lights and know your surroundings. Number 9, overestimating your abilities. And here's the thing, you might actually be a great swimmer or an experienced paddler or in great shape, but exhaustion changes everything. After 6 hours in the sun, dehydrated and fatigued, your body doesn't respond the same. The Coast Guard receives countless calls from kayak anglers who overestimated their endurance, misjudged their distance, or pushed through conditions they shouldn't have. Confidence is good, but humility on the water is what gets you home safe. Know your limits and build your experience gradually. A former football quarterback thought he was on a routine kayak fishing trip off Grayton Beach, Florida, and that quickly became a close call. Strong winds swept him approximately 8 miles offshore to the Gulf of Mexico. Critically, he was out there without a phone or a life jacket. These are real stories, so make sure you're not one of those stories. All right, number 10, not planning for equipment failure. Motors die, batteries quit, pedal drives snap pins or seize up, and wires short out. Connections corrode, things fritz, and it never happens when you're near the ramp. It happens miles out in the wind, in the waves, or fading daylight. So that's why I assume that something will fail eventually, and plan for it. I like to carry a backup paddle, especially if you're in open water, even if you run a motor or a pedal drive, a charged phone or a VHF radio in a waterproof case. And just as important, basic tools to fix what you brought. I have zip ties, spare pins, multi-tools, extra props. I keep a small dry bag with essentials just in case, because even a simple fix can mean the difference between paddling home or calling in a rescue. Hope is not a plan, folks. So plan ahead and be the angler who is always ready, no matter what breaks down. Number 11, unsecured paddle. Lose your paddle, lose control. If you're miles out and your paddle floats away in a fight, you're in trouble. Use a leash, carry a spare, have a plan. And number 12, tether hazards, right? Securing your gear is smart until it traps you underwater. So avoid rigid tethers, use breakaway clips, and keep leashes short and safe. Number 13, fire risk from lithium batteries. Electronics are freaking awesome, right? Until they catch fire. And yes, it happens more often than people admit. Damaged lithium batteries can overheat, short out, even ignite, especially when exposed to moisture, salt water, or extreme heat. And when does it happen? It's usually not shared. Why? Because it's embarrassing. You don't want to be that person. But make no mistake, it does happen, and actually might happen more than you realize. So use sealed, waterproof battery boxes, fuse all lines properly, and keep batteries out of direct sunlight. Ensure your wiring is to spec. Charge smart, store smart, wire smart. Number 14, underestimating wildlife. Now, when you're kayak fishing, you stepped into their backyard, right? And most animals will give you warning signs before things get dangerous. Beavers, they usually slap their tail in the water as a warning, then circle your kayak if they feel threatened. Take the hint and move on. Gators, you'll have to hear them hiss before they decide to get aggressive.
Get him up.
Problem is,
Coming for it.
I don't have a very tight line on this.
Oh my God!
Homie.
Wow, I can't believe he ain't jumping for it.
And in the spring, that's mating season. Stay alert. Snakes, they're usually basking on the bank or tucked into logs. They really don't want to fight, but step too close and they'll let you know. Now, even sharks, when you're dragging fish behind your kayak, these are scent trails in the water. And let's not forget the most territorial creature of them all, the dock Karen, right? She'll start hovering at the end of her dock and then suddenly own like half the lake. It's crazy. But the point is, pay attention to the signs. Most of these encounters are avoidable if you read the room, or in this case, the water. Number 15, underestimating open water fishing. 3 miles offshore feels fine until you lose sight of the land, and without proper navigation gear, it's easy to get lost. So always carry a GPS compass and a VHF radio. VHF stands for very high frequency, and know the right channels to use, when to use them, and in some cases, when not to use them. Number 16, getting swept out into the currents. Now, tides, wind, and river flow can push you miles out. I got a story for you. On July 29th, 2002, this was a while ago, John Stockton set out for what he thought would be a quick row in his new kayak, and 24 hours later, he found himself wafted more than 80 miles offshore by currents he hadn't anticipated. A Coast Guard H-865 helicopter and a C-130 jet were dispatched, and Stockton was miraculously located and rescued that same day. Now, this case is an exaggeration. It underlines a stark reality. The ocean doesn't negotiate. There's no just a little drift. Always be prepared for the full power of currents and tide. All right, number 17, sun exposure and dehydration. Now, the sun reflects off the water and cooks you fast, right? Heat exhaustion sneaks up, dizziness, nausea, cramps. So bring more water and food than you think you may need. Now, I'm personally terrible at this, and my wife, rightfully so, has been getting on me. So thank you, Danielle. I love you too. All right, number 18, fatigue and poor decision making. Now, after 6, 8, 12 hours on the water, your brain gets a little foggy, right? This is when bad choices happen. Pushing through the storms, paddling too far, skipping safety steps. So know your limits. All right, number 19, boat traffic blind spots. Now, you're low in the water and that bass boat, that pontoon, that jet ski might not see you, especially at high speeds or in low light. So use tall visibility flags, bright colored gear, 360-degree lights if you're out early or late. Stay out of marked boat channels when possible, and always assume that you're invisible until proven otherwise. Even experienced boaters can miss a kayak in a chop or a sun glare. So make yourself as visible as possible from every angle. Number 20, lightning. If you can hear thunder, you're close enough to get struck. Fishing rods, carbon fiber paddles, even some kayak mounts all conduct electricity. You're basically holding a lightning rod. Get off the water immediately. Lightning can strike several miles ahead of a storm, and kayakers are especially vulnerable because there's no shelter and nowhere to ground. Even small, fast-moving cells can be deadly, so don't wait until the rain hits to start heading in. Number 21, slips and falls at launch. Now, injuries just don't happen out in the water. Slipping at the ramp, lifting too much weight, or falling before your PFD can ruin your trip or worse. I recently had a comment from someone who told me that a local doctor slipped on a boat ramp, hit his head, and drowned in shallow water, all from a little slime on some concrete. It's tragic and preventable. Wear proper footwear, move around slowly on wet surfaces, and always launch smart, not rushed. Now, here's the truth. Most kayak fishing accidents don't come from one huge mistake. They happen when 2 or 3 of these dangers compound. We call that the Swiss cheese effect. Now, if you want to go beyond just watching a short video, if you want to get trained, you want to get tested and certified in kayak fishing safety, go to kfast.co, KFAST.co. KFAST is the Kayak Fishing Advanced Safety Training Program. We offer both basic and advanced certification, built and reviewed by experts, delivered through real-world video instruction. We created this because we believe knowledge plus preparation saves lives. Get certified, fish smarter, and live to fish another day. Now, I left the number 1 kayak fishing mistake that can end your life out on purpose. And if you think you know what that is, please throw that down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna go fishing. Get out of here.